Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. There's going to be a lot of Liverpool fans watching this complaining about refereeing decisions. Was a Doku won a penalty? Personally, I didn't think so, if I'm being brutally honest. Because I can see why it's given, because if the keeper doesn't sort of touch him with his knee, he probably goes round and finishes the shot off. But it was very soft, and I thought it was a bit of an odd one, but I'm not complaining. But Haaland missed it, and he is human after all. Jeez, got the hiccups. But Doku, absolute fantastic today. That's the best game I've ever seen from him in a City shirt since joining from Rennes. I keep burping, Jesus Christ, because I was sweating like a pig in that game. Because I was still nervous at 3-0 up. Because you just never know what could happen, because Liverpool have got a lot of dodgy and lucky comebacks this season. So, well, why dodgy? I mean, loads of added time added on and stuff. But we seen the game out. Doku, fantastic, as I already said. Nico Gonzalez, fantastic. Nico O'Reilly, fantastic. Ruben Diaz, fantastic. Donnarumma made big saves. Gvardiol was a bit shaky at times of his passing, but he still did a very good job when he was called upon. Mateus Nunes, that's his best game for City as well, I think, because people will discredit him because of last week, because people will say that Semenya's been a player that's had a good start to the season, but he's never really done much before that. And of his mistakes in previous games. I'm so happy for him today because he was fantastic. Fantastic cross for the first goal as well for Haaland. And he can score a header, but he can't score a penalty. That's just my striker right there. And Phil Foden, he weren't really in the game as much today, but he was still doing some nice link-ups here and there. And he was unlucky with that one where he was in on goal and Van Dijk managed to shove him away from goal a little bit. But I do have to say Foden's definitely improving, and there's things that he's doing that a lot of people aren't noticing. But this style of play with us not having as much possession and allowing teams to have the ball and hitting on the counter-attack, it might not be as sexy to watch with previous City teams like the Formidables, Centurions, treble winners, but it's working. And until it stops working, you can't change it, in my personal opinion. And about Liverpool crying about the decisions, you've got to remember, Akanji on Alisson, that wasn't given. The handballs, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 1920. The Haaland on Fabinho to disallow the Phil Foden goal at Anfield. We had the one against Liverpool in the Champions League at the Etihad. So Sane, that's the one I think that gets forgotten about, because we could have gone 2-0 up there, and then who knows what could have happened there if that was given. Because then we could have possibly been on for a treble. It would have been the proper treble, because by then we was already knocked out of the FA Cup, but it still would have been a treble, form of a treble, if we'd have won that season. But on today's game, their midfield was really poor though. Szoboszlai, I think that's the worst he's played all season. Wirtz has been shocking this season, and he was shocking today as well. Diving around, embarrassing. Conor Bradley's going to have nightmares. I didn't think he was actually too bad. Doku just made him look a lot worse than what he actually was today. And that Doku goal to make it 3-0, that was a huge goal because they started the second half actually pretty well. We had the Gonzalez sort of deflection that went over the bar and out for a corner. And we had the Gakpo one where he skied it over. So Liverpool, they can't say that they was robbed fully on the decisions. They did have their moments today, but they just didn't take them. And in normal games, City versus Liverpool, they would have taken them. But today was just our day. But it's the best defensively we've looked this season. Even though there was still a bit sloppiness with the passing around from the back and stuff. But whenever we was making mistakes, we was always recovering, and we was always winning the ball back. Sorry, I just burped. And the thing is, we could have scored more. O'Reilly had a few long ranges. Obviously, the missed penalty from Haaland in the first half. The one where it went across the goal and Doku didn't get a touch on it. Cherky had like a blocked shot in the first half. And there was one where towards the end where Mamouche could have chose to shoot. I think Haaland put him in. That was a very good pass from Haaland, but he just decided not to shoot. But we've got to kick on after the international break. There's no good beating Liverpool today if we go on to slip up against either Leeds or Newcastle. Because then your hard work against Liverpool goes out the window a little bit. Because then you give Arsenal a chance to regain their lead a bit. Because we're currently 4 points behind Arsenal after they dropped points against Sunderland yesterday. Sorry, I keep burping. And that's very rude of me. Scouser's tears. But I think this spine of City is really impressive this season with the likes of Cherky, Foden, O'Reilly, Ruben Diaz, Josko, Gvardiol. We just need our other wingers other than Doku to be performing better, like Mamouche and Savinho. Because I think when they came on, we struggled a bit to create as much opportunities as before they was on the pitch. But I think at some point it's going to happen for Mamouche. I'm not sure if it's going to happen for Savinho because he has his moments, but he's just not consistent. I know Doku was a bit like that before, but you could always see glimpses of Jeremy Doku performing a little bit in the 23-24 season, the back end of the season, and there was games in 24-25 against Aston Villa in the league where he got that assist to set up Nunes. But I haven't seen enough glimpses of Savinho to show that he's actually going to become a world beater in the long run. But I just hope I get proven wrong and he does turn into be a world beater. But the man of the match today is actually really difficult. I think it's between Doku and Ruben Diaz. I think that's the best Diaz performance since the treble-winning season. Or even his first season where he won the PFA Player of the Year. I think I'm going to give it Jeremy Doku because he was better the whole game around. I'm not saying Diaz wasn't as good for the whole game. He was just as good, but if you have to draw it down to one, I would give it Jeremy Doku because he was causing Liverpool problems from minute 1 to the moment he was substituted off. And I just think we've just got to keep going. And Arsenal have Chelsea after the international break. They have Tottenham. I know Tottenham weren't particularly good against United yesterday, but it's a derby and anything can happen. As long as we are in that title race, going into the last 10, 9, 5 games, whatever, I think Arsenal's arse crumbles and they won't be able to hack the pressure because we've seen that on a numerous number of occasions with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. And it's happened in top 4 races as well. Towards the end of the season, they always tend to bottle it, sorry. But an absolute massive result. I'm gutted I wasn't there because of trains and I couldn't get back. But up the Blues, City till we die. The best team in the land and all the world. Hashtag together. Pep Guardiola's the GOAT. He wins his 1000th game as a manager. And Fergie's on the dole. And Arnie Slot's getting sacked. Good night. City.